Hello and happiest of days to each of you folks. I hope that this YouTube post and video is finding you absolutely as great as possibly can be. If not, I hope it will be by the end of today. Alrighty, so today on Saturday, I dedicate to the forgotten storytelling genres of serials, either movies or sometimes television stuff too, like Doctor Who from the 60s. I've knocked out 2 seasons of here on the day that I call Serial Saturday. They used to sell and were hugely popular. They used to sell movie theaters during that era. And that sort of thing. I've done things from Pulp Flash Gordon's to Buck Rogers' to a bunch of superhero stuff like the Spider's Web to a couple of Tarzan pulps recently too. So let's get started with 1939's The Flying G-Men for you folks. This is a 15-chapter Republic serial. It's pretty long at 300 minutes. It's long. It's very slow paced at times. It stars as Hal Andrews, one of the G-Men, Robert Page, and then as Bart Davis, another of the G-Men, is Richard Fisk. And then another of the G-Men is played by John Cummings. John Cummings is the character, and he's played by James Craig. And then Babs McKay, the character, is the unmarried love interest. She's Lorna Gray. It also stars as Kid Billy McKay, related to her. He's his nephew, and that sort of thing. He's played by Sammy McKinn, and then a fourth G-Man is played by Stanley Brown's Charles Bronson. Yes, not that Charles Bronson. This guy doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Alrighty, and then it's directed by James W. Horn and Ray Taylor for you folks. It's written by a bunch of people: Robert E. Kent, Basil Dickey, and Sherman L. Lowe. This time, because when it's being set, it's in 1939. It's a couple of years before we join World War II, but we are definitely being manipulated by secret agents and spies here locally that are hurting our local military infrastructure. And only the Flying G-Men can stop this and that sort of thing. So they put together a special hero who can go outside the boundaries of the lines as a vigilante. His name is the Black Falcon for you folks, and that only he can take him out. And there are tons of spies are. Right? We'll also find out in the first episode that they basically will flip, and then the first person that's chosen by randomness between their coin, but each of their badges is going to be the first G-Man, and then when that person falls, then they'll get replaced, and that first one will actually fall in the first episode. This is arguably I wanted to check out a flying serial, and this is arguably my first flying serial. It's got tons of flying stunts and that sort of. Since they are very, very popular during this time, although you might consider the Black Hawk one to be more of a flying serial, that's fine if you do. Although it does have some flying scenes, but it's more of a punch it up. This one has more punch scenes in it too, unfortunately. So this was written and heavily influential in the Black Hawk comic, which the comic started in 41, and the serial was like 12 years later. And you can definitely see it. It's from the name, the Black Hawk, from the Black Falcon. Even their logo is similar to both flying people that are intercepting the bad guys in World War II, that sort of thing. It's long. It's got some great flying and combat stuff, and there was a stunt performer, pilot, who did some training and did a lot of different action scenes too in the planes to help with it. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 overall. Only its length keeps it down. Everything else is good to go, Idaho. Alright, so have you seen it? And if so, what did you think about it? Again, try to keep it spoiler free. I only talk about what we talked about in the first chapter, right? And that's everything. So please keep it as spoiler-free as you can, but let me know what your thoughts are. As a reminder, I'm not a film critic. I didn't go to school for film criticism, right? I'm just a fan. So your opinion, right, will be just as valid as mine will be, right? No problems. Happy to help. And then also so just check it out, right? Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, as I mentioned earlier, in the serial era, which this is actually at the height of it, right? Right before World War II. So the idea here is that, like I mentioned before, this sold seeds in a massive way. For example, right about now, today when you go to see a movie, you would see one movie, everybody would see it together, right? But then what you would do back then is you would see some trailers, and then that's it. But then back then, you might see some treasures, but they were actually not as common as you might think. And then you would go see a couple of pictures. And a picture, a couple of shorts beforehand, like cartoons and newsreels too. And then you would see the first of 2 serials. Then you would head intermission for like half an hour or so. And then you would come back. We're ready for the second half. And then you would come back for another couple of shorts. Then the B picture, which is pretty short actually compared to modern conventions. And that sort of thing, it might only be like sometimes like 70 minutes or an hour or something like that. And then you would check it out, the last couple of shorts, and then finish out with a movie serial with the cliffhanger, and then you would leave. And see how the movie serials in both cases were heading towards intermission and leaving. That's how they hooked you, right? Because you were saying not how great the A movie was, right, or how great, but you were saying how, how's this person going to survive this cliffhanger? I don't know. Let's check it out next week. Right? And that sort of thing. So I think that's definitely some great stuff that's happening during this era for you folks. And it sold seats. It was the water cooler talk, if you will, of the day. It's what everybody went to talk about. They would talk about it from school or classes or work or their churches or their families. Everybody would go together, right? And it'd probably be like a half a day you might be spending over the weekend, right? Make sense? Alright, and so there you are. And so that's where the passion of this comes from. So yesterday, I do top 10s of older things, or sometimes I'll rank stuff to just rank my top 10 Star Trek shows. Actually, there's 11 of them. And then last week, I did ranked on my Star Wars films, and then I usually do top 10s of films or something like that. Next week, I'm going to rank my Star Trek films instead, too, because I think those are pretty weird at times. I think it's fun stuff. Like it lots. So check that out too. I've previously done lots of top 10 films, like top 10 indie films, top 10 foreign language films, and that sort of thing, and as well as top 10 comedies and stuff pretty recently too. And then I took out 5 weeks to do my top 10 musical albums and artists, and then 3 weeks for my top 10 comic titles, miniseries, and writers. Righty, so now we're heading back to that visual media for you folks. And then on Monday, I do reviews of older either video war games. I'm sorry, in like BattleTech that are a little older, or sometimes RPGs too. I'm in my review of Middle-earth role playing, for example, on that day. And then I also am currently doing reviews of first edition or second edition or back to me era. So that maybe decades ago in Dungeons and Dragons. I just finished B5, The Whore on the Hill by Douglas and Laws. I'm doing the B series right now, so I've done, B4, The Lost City by Tom Moldvay. I've done Douglas 2B2, Keeping on the Borderlands, that sort of thing. So check that out if you like those older things too. And then on Wednesday, I do older video game reviews. I recently did the movies from 2005. It's a video game. It's a video game where you make movies. And then I've also just gone back and did a Planescape tournament a couple weeks ago. It was Planes plus Pool of Radiance, and so I did that in this past week. Now I'm going to be doing the Baldur's Gate trilogy. So I did Baldur's Gate this week and Baldur's Gate 2. I think I might do a Siege of Dragonspear 2, the DLC, and then Baldur's Gate 3. Check it out. And then those are all the things. And the other 3 days a week, I do reviews of older things that you have to read, and that sort of thing, not visual media like today. But then novels or short stories or novellas, sometimes too, or poems or prose poems like Clark Ashton Smith or some H.P. Lovecraft stuff too, that are older, that have lots of day. But we oftentimes just don't actually go out and read, right? And so if those 7 older things sound like fun to you, then definitely welcome to the channel and have a seat. I think you'll enjoy your time here. Please do all of the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon to be notified of my 7 videos a week, and then also share with your friends and like it and that sort of thing. Basically, watch and share. Those are the key ways to grow this channel. And there you are. As you can tell from all those older things, this is the passion of the channel. It's even where its name comes from. The worst thing about new books. That's a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones. This is definitely some older stuff we might have forgot about, right? And, it's not that the good new stuff is bad. It's not, right? But in our passion for, in this case, the new movie or the new video game or the new novel, right? The passion for the new. We've forgotten how great some of the older things are. And that they are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? So let's check out the giants. So that might have even forgot about, right? Happily so. It's also where my context strength, it's my number one strength in Strength Quest. It's a positive psychology personality type indicator. And I learn stuff more as I watch it out. So, for example, when I went through to see the Flash Gordon serials that were heavily influential on Star Wars, I appreciated Star Wars more. Makes sense. So I like that, dude. Right, so there you are. Now I want to thank you so very, very much, for just taking some time out of your day and just investing it, right, and watching my videos, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.